All right, today we're heading to the Pacific Northwest to explore a city of really captivating contrasts, Seattle. This is a place where you've got this super high-tech urban core smashing right up against some truly untamed natural beauty. So let's dive in and find out what makes the Emerald City just so unique.
You know, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the whole essence of Seattle. We're not talking about a city that just happens to have a few parks. No, its entire identity, its whole vibe, is shaped by the incredible nature that literally wraps around it. And that unique setting, it creates an atmosphere you really just won't find anywhere else.
And really, that's the central theme for our journey today. This incredible blend of two completely different worlds. First, we're going to explore the bustling urban heart, with all its classic architecture. And then we're going to venture out into the breathtaking wilderness that is literally right on its doorstep.
Okay, so let's start right in the middle of it all, in the city's lively and historic downtown. I mean, this is where you can really, truly feel the pulse of Seattle.
Just walking through downtown is a fantastic experience in itself. You've got this classic architecture, these beautiful leafy public squares, and these wide, breezy streets. They all just kind of invite you to wander around and soak in that historic atmosphere of the city.
And of course, no trip downtown is complete without visiting the legendary Pike Place Market. Seriously, it is so much more than just a collection of stalls. It's a full-on sensory experience. Part of what makes it feel so authentic is this long-standing Meet the Producer charter they have, which means you're buying directly from the artisans and farmers themselves. It's basically a living piece of history with all these buzzing eateries and, oh yeah, the original Starbucks is there too.
And that really gets to the heart of the market's appeal, right? I mean, you can actually chat with the local producers and sample seafood that was practically just pulled from the Pacific. It is about as fresh and as authentic as it gets.
So from the market, it's just a really short walk down to the waterfront, which is, you guessed it, another defining feature of Seattle. This is a city that is just completely shaped by the water that surrounds it.
The waterfront is just this constant hub of activity. You can stroll along the piers, watch these massive container ships just glide by, and then you can hop on a ferry. And that gives you a completely different perspective, watching that iconic skyline rise up from the water. It's pretty amazing. And hey, it's not just the Puget Sound we're talking about. Water is literally everywhere here. The whole city is kind of squeezed between the Sound on one side and the massive Lake Washington on the other. And then, smack in the middle, you've got Lake Union, which is famous for those super quirky and really cool floating homes. All right, so we've seen the skyline from the water. Now let's go find the best spots to view it from up on land and get a little closer to Seattle's most famous landmarks.
Okay, if you want that postcard photo of Seattle, the one I'm talking about, with the Space Needle perfectly framed against the downtown skyline and Mount Rainier just looming in the background, well, this is where you go. Cary Park, that's the spot.
And speaking of the Space Needle, let's talk height for a second. The observation deck, it sits 520 feet above the city. Yeah, that's some pretty serious elevation.
So what's the reward for going all that way up? Well, on a clear day, the view is it's breathtaking. You see the entire cityscape, all the surrounding water, and that immense snow-covered peak of Mount Rainier just dominating the horizon. Incredible.
Seeing that mountain is the perfect transition for us, because as amazing as the city of Seattle is, one of its greatest assets is that it's a gateway to some of the most stunning natural landscapes in the entire country.
So a trip to Mount Rainier National Park, man, it offers so much to do. It doesn't matter if you're an avid hiker ready to tackle some of the hundreds of miles of trails, or if you'd rather just take a scenic drive. There are just countless ways to experience the majesty of this volcano.
And inside the park, you have to visit the Grove of the Patriarchs. This is where you walk among these ancient trees. Some of them are up to 1,000 years old. Think about that. It's a truly humbling experience, just to stand next to something that has been alive for an entire millennium.
Then just a few hours west of the city, there's another world entirely, Olympic National Park. And in there, you'll find the Hoh Rainforest. It is such a mystical place. You've got moss and lichens just dripping from every single surface, creating this silent, green, almost otherworldly landscape. And if you keep going all the way to the coast, still inside that same park, you'll find Ruby Beach. It's this incredibly rugged, dramatic shoreline. It's famous for its towering sea stacks and these huge pieces of driftwood scattered all across the sand. I mean, it is the wild Pacific coast in all its glory. So, think about it. From the buzz of Pike Place Market to the deep silence of a 1,000-year-old forest,
Seattle presents you with this really unique choice. It's a city that basically asks a fundamental question to anyone who visits. You've got this pole of a vibrant urban center on one hand and a vast natural wonderland on the other. So for you, where would your perfect adventure begin?